Morals, mushrooms, have you got them?
Here are the damn fungi.
Yes! Oh, splendid. All I need now is a fresh skull. Take a good look at yourself. Yes. Yes, your head would make a perfect skull.
How about a skull that isn't attached to my neck?
Sure. Bring me one from the battlefield, will you? Nice and fresh. Fresh!
A skull? Like this one?
Oh, yes, good boy. Nice skull. Nice, very nice. If I take a closer look...
What then?
Your skull is fresher, nicer. I'll need it.
That again? I'll have your hide instead, you loon.
My head. Give me my head.
Greetings! The standard. Have you found it?
I'm sure the goblins took it. Look, is this the one?
My lord's standard! That's it! My honor is saved. Thank you, stranger. Thank you.
Never mind. I'm off to the castle, and so are you, incidentally.
Very well. See you at Silverlake Castle.
Greetings, stranger. Have you found Killian?
Stuart armor? I need help.
What is it?
Our guild's emblem was a golden arrowhead. I hid it in a cave before the battle.
And now?
The damned goblins have made themselves at home here, including the cave where I hid it. Can you retrieve it for me?
Goblins are slowly getting on my nerves.
They've been breeding like rabbits since the war. You'll hardly find a cave without these damned creatures anymore. Even if you do, just be careful that nothing worse lurks in there.
Is this the way to the castle?
No, simply follow the road to the south through the Gorge of the Penitents.
I'll bring you the golden arrowhead. Just tell me how to find the goblin cave.
Close by, to the east.
Gorge of the Penitents? That's a funny name.
Lord Gawain stews his prisoners in cages there until they start regretting their deeds. Not a place one would want to end up.
Seems like your guild hasn't been in the best condition lately.
The guild ceased to exist. Our Grand Master Kraglin is missing. Some of us fled west after the battle began. Most of them joined Lord Gawain in the war. So far, nobody's returned.
I met Kraglin. He's alive.
Really? Where is he?
He's been looking for the survivors on the battlefield.
Finally, some good news. Thanks. I don't want to sound pushy, but have you got the arrowhead?
Here, the golden arrowhead.
Splendid. That's it indeed. Maybe there's still hope for our guild after all.
It'll be fine.
I'd like to believe that.
Halt!
Open the gate!
No way, stranger. Nobody enters without the Castellan's permission.
I spoke with Gilthor. I was to bring Doran back from the battlefield. And so I have. He's on his way now.
Oh yes, the Castellan mentioned this. Forgive my being rude. Ever since Lord Gawain was imprisoned, we've been very careful here.
What did you say? Lord Gawain's in prison? The lord of the castle?
Haven't you heard? Orcs kidnapped him.
How did that happen?
You should talk to Welgard the blacksmith. He can tell you the whole story.
Open the gate then.
Of course. Get inside.
Please don't forget about the healing nuts. The wounded here can't wait much longer.
Got some nuts for you. Here, take them.
Oh, thank you so much. Now we can prepare more healing salve. Wonderful.
Sure thing.
Can you use this recipe? I found it in the castle.
Have you seen Gilthor?
The Castellan is in the citadel, upstairs by the fireplace.
What are you doing here?
I traveled between Tushu and Stuart, but the orcs tried to attack me, and I was forced to run back to the castle. Now I'm waiting for someone to teach them a lesson.
The orcs are agitating.
I've known them for years, and they've always been friendly. They buy mead from me from time to time. A couple of months ago, however, they started becoming more aggressive. The assault a few days ago was a sad escalation.
Tell me about the assault.
I was on the road to Tushu with my cart when they charged from the forest. 4 or 5 orcs, holding a club in one hand and a bottle of booze in the other. They were swaying and tripping over their legs and bawling attack. Then I noticed another group down the road before me.
I turned my cart and returned to the castle. One drunken orc is ridiculous, but a bunch of them are dangerous.
The archive should be in here.
Archives? You mean the basement, perhaps? The one with loads of books? One may enter with the Baron's permission only.
What are you going to do now?
I'll do my best to help people here. Once the region is safe again, I'll return to my business.
I'd like to look at your goods. I'd like to look at your goods.
Damn rain! Oh, my shoulders. What do you want?
What can you tell me about the battle?
War is never beautiful. But what happened in the Valley of Blood? I've never seen anything like that. A disaster. A damned disaster!
How did it turn out to be a disaster?
Lord Hagen's troops were outnumbering us, and we were caught up in a rearguard battle. So far, so good. Not a big deal. But all of a sudden, stones started falling from the sky like huge raindrops, and there was an ice-cold wind, as if Beliar himself had belched from the mountain. Panic and chaos ensued. Everyone ran for their lives.
Who caused the rockfall?
Surely it was the paladins, playing with magic again. Still, their arrow flew in the wrong direction, for their casualties must have been higher than ours.
You mentioned something about magic. Tell me about it.
It was like this. One of the rocks had just shattered my shoulder and knocked me down. Then there was a sudden blow right next to me, and a huge skull crashed on the battlefield. A most hideous face. I staggered to my feet and just ran for it.
What happened to Lord Gawain?
Like I said, chaos reigned on the battlefield. Everyone ran for their lives. I haven't seen our lord since then.
And it's getting worse and worse.
It's you. Have you brought Duran back?
I didn't take him by the hand, but I got the standard for him, and he promised to return to the castle.
That's good news. So what was it you wanted to ask me? What can I do to thank you?
I wish to browse the archives in your castle.
Access to the archives is granted solely by Lord Gawain.
Surely you know how to open a door?
Without my lord's permission, my hands are tied.
What now?
You might already have heard that our lord's in an awkward position. The orcs captured him.
Yes, I know, a poor joke.
They overpowered him when he was returning from the battlefield, weak and wounded. We couldn't do anything to prevent it. If you help us free Lord Gawain...
I've heard enough. Where are those orc bastards?
They live in a cave, south from the castle.
Either I return with Gawain, or you'll never see me again.
To pass the bridge to the orcs' territory, you need a password for the watch, which is nothing is as gold as silver honor.
One more thing. What can you tell me about the archive? How old is it?
Old, very old. Some of it is much older than the castle, which was built by Robar II.
By Robar II? The last king of Matana?
Yes, Lord Tronter reigned here at that time. We Setarifians put an end to that. Now Lord Gawain, the brother of Ethorn VI, rules from the castle.
At least the vegetable will profit. Don't know when the world's coming to us. Let's go crazy. Or whatever next.
Well, lad, do you like my work?
Yes, I can learn a bit from you.
Have a look around. Do you know how to use a hammer and anvil?
I guess so.
Really? Well, lad, I've got a task for you then. Fetch me my sketchbook, and I'll teach you a few tricks.
I like your offer. Where can I find your book?
South from the castle stands a watchtower. I liked sitting there, working on my drafts. But one day, some lousy orcs came and drove me away. By my anvil, the wretched bunch!
And your book got lost.
That's right, lad. Bring me the book, and I'll teach you higher blacksmith arts.
I'll look for the book.
You do that, lad. Good luck.
Are you a blacksmith?
Smart, lad. I'm impressed. Certainly I'm a blacksmith. In fact, the best you'll meet between Stuart and Satarif. For years in the service of the barony of Silverlake and his lordship.
His lordship has some problems, or so I've heard.
By my anvil, lad, you got that right. The orcs snatched and abducted him. It's a bloody disgrace.
But weren't the orcs supposed to be friendly?
We used to think so. For years, the slackers hung around their caves, quiet as mice. Until Erhag came. Erhag and his cronies.
What do you know about Erhag?
Erhag is an orc warrior from Mirtana. He turned up with his gang and wanted to whip the lazy tribe into shape. But our lord wouldn't have any of that, so he bunged Erhag into the Gorge of the Penitents.
The Gorge of the Penitents is some kind of a prison, isn't it?
That is correct, lad. That's where troublemakers end up.
What happened to Erhag?
After a couple of months, Lord Gawain put mercy before justice and had Erhag released. It was a stupid thing to do, as we now know. Erhag should never have left his cage again.
What did Erhag do?
Everything was quiet for a long time. Then our lord was dragged into the battle. As soon as he had left the castle, Erhag turned up at the gates, with his whole gang in tow.
What was it the orcs wanted here?
To capture the castle, lad. What else? By my anvil, we showed them how people from the Silverlake can fight. Bunch of lousy orcs couldn't dream of capturing our castle.
And how did they capture Gawain then?
Our lord was on his way back from the battlefield. A few men were with him, and all of them were tired and weak. We couldn't do anything. Right before our eyes, Lord Gawain was surrounded and overpowered.
Why does nobody do anything to save the Lord?
Lad, look around. What do you see? Weaklings, wounded, and women. Who'd march out and attack the orcs? Me? I make weapons, but I don't wield them.
I'd like to see what you have to offer.
Greetings, young man. Could you tend to the wounded?
Actually, I'm looking for Lord Gawain.
Haven't you heard of the terrible events yet? Our lord was captured by the orcs. We're all very concerned.
How can I help?
There's a pond in the wilds beyond Silverlake where pondweed grows. Should you happen to get near that place, get me a couple of bunches. I have no gold, but I could teach you a thing or two about potions.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes open if I'm around there. I thought the orcs were friendly.
That's what we thought too. Yet just after Lord Gawain and his men had marched out to the Valley of Blood, the orcs launched an attack on the castle. A large one stepped forward and demanded our surrender.
The orcs laid siege to the castle?
Yes, we had to climb onto the battlements. After a couple of days they withdrew, but they captured Lord Gawain.
What about this large orc?
Never seen him before. He seems to be the new orc chief. A terrible creature. We were all scared. There's this story.
What story?
You'd better speak with Welgard the blacksmith. He knows much more.
Why didn't anybody help Gawain?
Take a look around again. The castle is full of wounded. Who would have rushed toward the gate and aid the Lord? Me? I'm a healer, not a warrior. All we could do was stand and watch. Kraglin would have at least tried to defend the castle since he didn't join the battle in the first place.
What does Kraglin have to do with the orcs' assault on the castle?
My brother is a craven fool. He refused to follow Lord Gawain and fled to the forest. That's not the behavior of a guild master. That was an act of cowardice.
What do you know about the battle?
Only what the wounded said. Robar summoned some demon to vanquish Lord Gawain, but the gods were on our side and sent rocks from the skies. The demon was annihilated, and Robar was forced to flee.
Tell me more.
Speak to Cardor. He was there.
Oh, look at...
The loot.
Oh, congratulations! Oh, look at that! That fella really knows his business.
Master!
Look here, a new face.
Who are you?
Baldwin. I used to work in the woodcutter's camp once, but that's all history now. Damned war.
What's going on here?
We're taking the wounded to the castle and burying the fallen. Well, the ones we managed to find.
Tell me something about this region.
Quite far in the northeast from here is a battlefield. The castle is located in the south, and my old camp lies quite close. North from here. Goblins living in the caves have been giving us quite some trouble lately. Beyond the castle in the south live the orcs. They used to be harmless, but they've gone haywire now.
The orcs went haywire?
Earlier, they wouldn't hurt a fly, yet they launched an attack on the castle recently.
What's going on with the goblins?
The beasts used to be merely impudent. However, they become literally dangerous since the war started. Those in the south steal everything that isn't pinned down, while the ones in the north eat everything they can get their hands on, even humans.
But you were on the battlefield, weren't you?
Only on the extreme edge. Even there, the ground is burnt down.
What about the rest of the battlefield?
I don't know. A landslide blocked the pass, buried half of the army. Gilthor wanted to clear the debris, but this big, creepy head...
What about the head?
Some enormous, hideous stone face. Nasty as a dog's ass. I swear it was watching me all the time. And something behind it scraped, clattered, and made noise, but nobody answered our calls.
I thought the battle took place up north.
There too. We were on the way back, and the Rangers Guild lent us some provisions.
What's with the Rangers?
Dead or fled. The Grand Master Kraglin must be loitering somewhere. He ducked out from the battle. Cowardly swine.
Look at that! A Stuart armor! Hello? Hey.
None shall pass. Go back.
Nothing is as gold as silver honor.
How do you? Oh well, you may pass, if you're crazy enough.
Crazy enough? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'd only set out south to fight a small army. It's really dangerous out there.
I'm a small army myself.
Big head.